Ladies and gentlemen, it's Saucy Connections. Pleasure to welcome you to Richmond, where the local time is 5:38.
All right, finally made it to my rental car. There was a little bit of a rental car situation, but got it worked out. About a half-hour drive to get to where I'm staying, and I want to stop at the grocery store first as well. I'm starting to get a little bit hungry and pretty tired, so gonna hit the road, get some food, get to my hotel, and try to kind of wind down from this whole travel day. Also, it's like a million degrees here. I mean, that's a slight exaggeration, but I forgot how hot and humid it gets in Virginia in the summer. I spent a few summers here, and it's just kind of brutal. So when we got off the plane, it's like 90 degrees, and it's gonna take a little bit of adjusting, get used to this. I have to kind of mentally prepare for the next few days. Good morning from Richmond. Last night was really not good. Yesterday afternoon when I was on the plane, my stomach got kind of upset, which I feel like can happen on airplanes. Like, that's sort of normal. Usually if it happens to me, it will last for a little bit, maybe a couple of hours afterwards, but then it'll go away. But it just kind of kept going all last night, and then it got really, really bad. Of course, right when I wanted to go to bed, and I was tossing and turning, and it was keeping me up, and I finally got up and tried taking something, and that worked a little bit, but I just was really, really uncomfortable, and eventually I fell asleep, and it feels a little better this morning, maybe like 50% better, but still not great. So it's kind of annoying. It's not very pleasant, but I'm hoping that maybe it'll sort of fade away throughout the day. I haven't looked at my Oura Ring data yet. I'm a little scared to see what my sleep is going to look like from last night. I don't feel super terrible this morning, but definitely kind of that groggy, like just didn't get enough sleep feeling. So this is where things like morning sunlight and movement become extra important to me, because I'm really going to want to make sure that I get a good night's sleep tonight, or at least a better night's sleep, and don't let this turn into several days of bad sleep, especially because the day I go home I have to get up super early to go to the airport, so tonight is going to be important to get better sleep. So I'm hoping a little bit of sunlight, a little bit of movement might help make me feel a little better, kind of flush this out of my system, and then I'll get to have some time with Freddie today, so that will be nice. But the sun is definitely up. It's very bright and sunny here, and it's going to be really freaking hot, so I'm going to get that little bit of morning sunlight now while I can before it gets really strong, and get moving and hope my body can recover a little bit. The moment of truth. This is how bad my sleep was last night. 4 hours, 42 minutes. Oh boy. I love the little messages though that Oura Ring gives you. Your readiness is on the low side. It looks like you didn't sleep that well. Yeah, no kidding. Alright, well, that's to be expected after a night like that, but hopefully I can get back on track today and tonight. Definitely feel better after getting a little bit of movement. I went very easy on my workout today, but just one of these times again where I want to stay kind of in the habit and the consistency of doing my workouts, even if that means that I'm just doing the bare minimum of whatever I was going to do that day. So like today was a lower body workout, and instead of doing the whole workout and pushing it all, I just did the two main exercises, kind of scaled back on intensity, and I'm able to kind of like check that box that I got my workout in today, even if it was quote unquote not perfect, but something is always better than nothing. And I was pretty sure that movement was going to help with like my stomach and making me feel better this morning. I considered just doing like some light cardio, like a little bit of walking or elliptical, but that actually sounded more uncomfortable than doing a little bit of strength training where I kind of had breaks in between sets and could sort of rest and recover. And I definitely do feel better now. I've gotten to the point where for the most part, I know when movement is going to make me feel better, or like what kind of movement is going to make me feel better, and when is a day to just like really rest or do something like stretching or foam rolling or more restorative activity. At least for me, I feel like 99% of the time something is going to help, is going to make me feel better on a not so good day. But it took a lot of practice of like having to kind of make that decision on those hard days to try it and see how I would feel. And sometimes it didn't work. Like sometimes I might do a workout on a day where like this, maybe I was traveling, had a bad night's sleep, and then I go do a workout and it kind of snowballed things and made it worse, and I wasn't able to recover as well. And it took some time to figure out what sort of my own signals are for when certain kinds of movement are going to feel good and help me feel better and get back on track, and when it might be more harm than good. But anyway, all that to say, feeling a little better after my workout, having a little breakfast back in my hotel room, oatmeal with protein powder and some strawberries. I brought a couple of single serve packets of oatmeal and some protein powder, and then I got some fruit at the grocery store yesterday. It's a very easy way to get protein and carbs post-workout, and really easy to make even in a hotel room. Just gonna eat breakfast and then head over to the farm where Freddie is, spend some time with her. It is so hot out already. Like even when I went outside for sunlight this morning, it was like oppressive humidity. So we'll see if I'm able to last very long outside, taking Freddie for a walk or whatever. But especially after the not so great night's sleep last night, I have a feeling this heat might really wear me out quickly today. But we'll give it a shot, see what we can do. It's a little later in the afternoon. I've just been back at the hotel doing some work on my computer for the last few hours, staying in the air conditioning. But I do want to go back over to the barn and see Freddie again this afternoon, maybe take her out for another little walk. And I also need to clean out my trunk a little bit. So I have a trunk full of all of my riding stuff that has been here with Freddie for the last few months. Got like my boots and helmet and a bunch of other stuff in there. And I really need to go through there and like clean and condition my boots, just make sure they aren't totally dried out or like growing mold or anything, since I haven't used them in a while. But I might have to put that off till tomorrow because my energy is really starting to drop. That 5 hours of sleep last night is definitely catching up with me at this point. So I think I'm just gonna go back, see Freddie again, maybe take her out for a minute. Jeez. Maybe take Freddie out for a few more minutes, see how much energy I have to stay out in the heat, and then just come back and stay cool inside for the rest of the day. Good morning. It's about 6:45 on Thursday. Thankfully, I slept a lot better last night, or at least I felt like I did. I haven't looked at my Oura ring yet, but definitely feel better than yesterday morning. My stomach is still a little funny. My whole body still feels a little inflamed or a little bit off, but a better night's sleep is definitely going to help. About to go out for a little bit of morning sunlight. It's another very bright sunny day. It's supposed to be very hot and humid again today, so just need a few minutes of that early morning sunlight to get what my cells need. Then I'll get some kind of movement to start the day before heading over to the barn to see Freddie again. Well, I was right that I got a better night's sleep. 91 sleep score and 88 readiness. That's a definite recovery. That's how big a difference one good night of sleep can make. Normally I would take a shower after my workout, or at least just like rinse off, but since I'm going right back out into the heat and humidity and basically gonna be just covered in horsehair and dirt, I figured that was a waste of time. I'm gonna head over to the barn, take Freddie out for her walk. They're trying to get Freddie sort of eased back into some exercise, mostly just for her metabolic health, but also to see if maybe she can tolerate being ridden a little bit eventually. Given her injury history, we're not really sure what she will be able to do, which is why we're starting really, really slowly, just with hand walking, so she doesn't have to carry a rider. She can just walk really freely right now. Just trying to really get her moving a little bit, and then we'll sort of slowly bump it up over time, how much she's doing, and then eventually see if she can be ridden at all. But for now, I'm just gonna take her for a hand walk, and I think I'm gonna give her a bath because she was pretty dirty yesterday and she could use one. later in the afternoon and I've just been packing up a little bit. I already went back to the barn earlier to see Freddie one more time before I head home tomorrow. And now I've just been back at the hotel packing up. I have a Zoom call with a client and then just going to eat the rest of the food that I have here and get ready for an early night because I'm gonna have like a 4:15 a.m. wake up call tomorrow. Very early flight tomorrow morning, which is why I'm extra glad I got a really good night's sleep last night, because even if I sleep really well tonight, it's just gonna be abbreviated for sure. So I'm gonna make sure I'm as packed up as I can be tonight so that I can really just roll out of bed tomorrow morning and hop in my car, get to the airport. This is basically what my lunch and dinner has looked like the past couple of days while I've been in the hotel. I try to make it super easy, at least when I'm on like a quick trip like this and I have access to a good grocery store. I got some chicken sausages and some cooked veggies just from like the hot bar, so that was really easy way to get some veggies in. I have some lentil soup for extra protein and carbs and a little bit of guacamole that I've just basically been going through the last few days. I want to still eat similarly to I would at home, but kind of make it as easy as possible. So super simple. Obviously it helps that I'm in a location here where I can find all this kind of stuff, and that way I just don't have to like eat out all the time or kind of scramble to find nutritious foods that I know are going to keep me feeling good. Also, one thing that I will do when I have a really early flight like this is I will put all the components of my hydration drink into a mason jar, and then when I get to the airport I'll fill it up with water and then I can drink it on the plane to stay hydrated, because I probably won't feel like chugging this down at like 4 in the morning, but by the time I get on the plane it'll be nice to have that. Oh my God. Well, I made it home, but that did not go as planned. So I had a very early wake up call this morning. My alarm was set for about 4:15 Eastern time, which is 3:15 home time. Got up really quickly, got out the door, was in my rental car at about 4:45, had a half-hour drive to the airport. So I was on time, everything was going fine. And I went to get directions to the airport on my phone and realized that my phone was still on Do Not Disturb from the night before. So once I turned Do Not Disturb off, all of a sudden I got a whole bunch of text messages saying my flight was canceled and that I had been rebooked on another flight. Thankfully, that other flight was only like half an hour later, so it wasn't like I was in my car super early for nothing, so I still just got myself over to the airport. But the other kind of bummer was that this flight went through Atlanta, so I was supposed to fly directly from Richmond back to Minneapolis, and instead I had to go from Richmond to Atlanta, had an hour and a half layover there, and then Atlanta to Minneapolis. All things considered, it actually was not that bad. I feel like often when you get a flight that's canceled, you can't necessarily get on another flight right away, or like I could have been there all day and that would have been really not fun. So in the end, I'm grateful that I was only like 4 hours late getting home, but it's also just kind of a lot to be up that early in the morning and just kind of have to mentally rework how the day is going and have a much longer travel day than planned. In any case, home now, getting pretty tired though, and before I tackle the unpacking all of my stuff and getting organized, I am desperate to get some movement. And I know if I don't do it now, I'm gonna crash pretty hard later this afternoon. But sitting on the airplane, I don't know if it's just me, it's not just me. I know everybody dislikes airplane seats and it's just not comfortable in general, but I'm also really short. And I feel like when I sit in an airplane seat, like in order to have my feet on the ground, I have to kind of like scooch forward. And so I don't get a lot of support. And then like headrest is kind of like pushing my head forward because I'm sitting much lower in the seat. All of which is to say, I always feel like when I travel, I just get very, very tight and sore. And I know if I go get a little workout in, I will loosen up a lot more than if I don't. So I'm gonna get down there, despite it being the afternoon and kind of my least favorite time to go work out. It's gonna make the rest of my day better. It's gonna make my sleep better. And hopefully it'll also give me a little energy boost to come back and do some unpacking, get some laundry started, all of that stuff. So I'm gonna head down to the gym right now before I can change my mind. post-workout and shower, I feel much better, although the fatigue is really starting to hit me now too. I'm just sticking some veggies in the oven so that I have some food to eat tonight and the next couple of days. I had some chicken that I already cooked that was in the freezer. Yay for past me making extra so that I could just pull it out of the freezer when I got home. But I'm just sticking some sweet potato and some frozen cauliflower into the oven, going to let them cook while I start unpacking. Also, don't mind me and my compression socks. I like to put them on after I travel sometimes, so this is just what we're going with. It is the next day, so it's Saturday morning. I'm feeling pretty well recovered from my travel day yesterday. I slept pretty well last night. Got out for a short walk this morning. It is so hot and humid though. I think we actually have a heat advisory all day today. We might get some storms and stuff too, so might be kind of an indoor day. I'm going to head down to the gym, get a little workout in the air conditioning. And then it is farmer's market day, so I do want to stop by there. Need to get some groceries, need to do some laundry, just kind of have a little reset day after traveling. Even though it was a super short trip, I feel like there's still always a lot to do when I get back from traveling, just to get reorganized and kind of get settled again. So I'm glad I have the weekend, and given that it is so horribly hot outside, I won't feel bad if I spend a little more time inside getting organized this weekend. It's hard to tell on camera, but it is very dark and windy out there. Good morning, it's Monday. I'm getting ready to head down to the gym. I already got outside for a few minutes of morning sunlight. Thankfully, our crazy heat wave seems to have broken last night. It was so freaking hot this whole weekend. I think we had a heat index of like 105 or something, and there were like 40-mile-an-hour winds. So it ended up being kind of a boring weekend because I literally did not even want to go outside to do anything. I'm gonna end off this video here, but I'm hoping that this week I will be getting a bunch of my test results back from the 2 test kits that I sent in a couple weeks ago and all of my blood work. Usually it goes to my doctor first and then she has to share it with me and then I can get access to it and look through it. I need to double check with them if they've received anything, but I'm thinking that by the end of this week I should have at least the blood work back for sure, if not one or both of the test kits that I sent in as well. So hopefully I'll be able to share those in the next video. I'm really interested to see what those results look like. Thank you as always very much for watching, and I will see you soon.